Well, hi team. I'm Fitz, your super bossy fitness pro, noisy race announcer, and author of 5 books. Count them, 5 books from fitzness.com. And welcome to the Fitzness Show. We got a lot to celebrate this week, and I'm excited to tell you all about it. So, yeah, I just said 5 books. And I said 5 because I'm about 2.5 seconds, maybe minutes, maybe days away from putting book number 5 on sale. And I cannot wait to get it to you. I haven't even told you what the freaking title is. Oh, I love it. I love it all. And it's coming and it's going to change your life. That's right. It's 400. That's right. 400 pages of everything you need to know to be at your best physically and mentally and make the people around you at their best too. It's going to be this trickle down, trickle up, trickle out experience for everybody who reads a freaking book. And it's coming. So I'm claiming number 5 here, author of 5 whole freaking books. So if you haven't done so yet, don't forget to click subscribe here on the Fitzness Show. So when I say things, you get notification because we're going to be talking a lot about you and about the book and about all the other stuff we always talking about. And then, of course, follow on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and whatever. So let's connect so I can penetrate your soul. That's right. I can go into your mind and shake you around and poke you in the chest and do all the things I need to do to get you up and running at 100% because that's my mission. Because I love you. You got it? Have you figured that out yet? I freaking love you. And I love all my American listeners. But then I've got a whole crew from Hong Kong and Australia and France and Germany and all of these wonderful places that are different than here. And it makes me really happy. So thanks for listening wherever you are. Today, we're going to talk about a couple things. We're going to talk about the Donna TPC Sawgrass 5K, which was incredible and fun and love-filled. And then we're going to talk about more medieval lady torture, which I just endured, which makes no effing sense, but you're going to like it. If you heard about my medieval lady torture a couple of months ago, this is the follow-up. So there's that. And then, of course, Barnacle Bill. I can't leave him out. So let's start with the Donna TPC 5K. So this was the third of the Fearless series. The Donna puts on the National Marathon to Finish Breast Cancer at the beginning of February every year. And it's just such a love fest. It was designed or created by a woman, Donna Deegan, who's beaten breast cancer 3 times. It had spread to her lungs. She beat it. She's an indomitable person, but she created the Donna Foundation, and they've been putting on 3 races a year for a very long time. And this was a third at TPC Sawgrass, one of the most beautiful, famous golf courses in the world. And what a pleasure that we get to stake out our start and finish line right there, and our athletes get to walk or run the course. It's a beautiful event, and they raise a lot of money for the Donna Foundation, which isn't all about research, and it isn't all about treatment dollars. It's about helping people with breast cancer. And I say people because men get it too. It's not just about fundraising dollars for research or for treatment. The Donna Foundation helps breast cancer patients, men and women all around America who need help doing life while going through treatment, because sometimes people can't afford gasoline to put in their car to get to treatment. They can't afford to do cancer care and put food on the table or pay their bills, et cetera. So the Donna Foundation makes a real difference for people who need it at a really harrowing time. And as you know, I've been there, done that. And it's a really harrowing time. So love supporting the Donna Foundation, but we were sold out. I think that was 1,400 registered athletes, and these events just keep growing and growing because they're fantastic. Compared to the marathon weekend, this is small, but it's still sizey and fantastic. And most importantly, we raised over $50,000 for the Donna Foundation, which is extraordinary. It's the most they've ever raised ever during this race weekend, and just so meaningful because they put those dollars to really good use to make an impact on people's life. In fact, a little shout out to our friends from Knocking Out Breast Cancer, which is comprised of a group of women who have had breast cancer in the Jacksonville area. And they do fundraisers all throughout the year. They do bake sales and car washes, and I don't know what else they're doing. They're doing a lot of different things to raise money so they can present this big, like the big funny check. But I think they raised, I know they raised well over $20,000. I don't know the exact number, but it was huge. And it was basically almost half of the money raised for the entire event, which was extraordinary. So congratulations to those beautiful, talented, hardworking, committed, funny, sweet, perfect ladies who I love very much. And then the players issued a $10,000 matching challenge. So once the Donna Foundation had reached a $10,000 mark, they doubled down. So for everybody who contributed, thank you so much. From my perspective as the race announcer, it was just It was a perfect day. I mean, I love all race days. I love all race weekends, but this one was particularly happy. I can't tell you exactly for all the reasons, but one of the reasons was this is the happiest, most smooth running start lines we've ever had there. Same for the finish line. It was drama free. It was organized, and it was just delightful. Everybody involved had a big smile on their face, and it just makes all the warm and fuzzies magnified tenfold. And then, gosh, we have so many breast cancer crushers. I know we're supposed to say breast cancer survivors. To be honest with you, the word survivor makes me feel like a victim. If you haven't heard this before, I don't wear pink ribbons. The only ribbon you'll ever catch me in is the Donna running ribbon. I want to serve their brand, so I'll put that on. But the pink ribbon makes me feel like a real victim. I hate it. I don't even like the word hate, but there you go. I'm letting all my emotions out on you today. I don't like the word hate. Don't like the word survivor. And I don't like the ribbon. I feel like that puts me on team breast cancer. I don't know. It just gives me the hate, loathe, despise feeling like a victim. So survivor. I'm supposed to say survivors. And for everybody else, I'll say survivors. I think that's the word that everybody supports. But I always say breast cancer crushers. And if you want to know why, it's because they just, the survivor word makes my skin crawl. But we had over, I would say 50, 60 of us who have done it, including Jim Keegan, our guy, our breast cancer guy, who, gosh, I think he's 9 years breast cancer free. And he always comes out and reminds men that men get it too. I think the number is about 1 in every 8 for women in America who get breast cancer. It's like 1 in every 700 and something men. So it's not as common, but it's still common. So guys, if you feel a lump or you have any sort of weird things going on with your chest, please go to the doctor. Don't ignore that, because it can be lethal for certain. So I'm just a huge group of us, and boy, do we love each other, right? It's like the club nobody wants to be in, but there we are. We're in the club, and we always do a survivor photo, and then I huddle them up, and we have a little powwow, and it's just great. It's just great. It's a very meaningful, happy morning, and I like shenanigans. As you know, I try to make races the most fun, the most energetic, the most happy place on earth, and so this morning I conjured up the leaping contest. So we've got a guy named Roger Dodger. That's right. His name is Roger Dodger. Kudos to his parents. And he always does a leaping photo at the end of his races. So I said, Roger, come on out. Our start line was kind of empty because it wasn't race time yet. I said, Roger, come on out and demonstrate the leap. And so he did. We took his photo, and then anyone else want to leap? And so hands went up, and athletes started coming from all over the place to come leap for us. So we had a big leaping contest, and I rated them all. Some of them were better than others. I gave them the category. You can leap for height. You can leap for pizzazz, or both. And so many of them leapt for both. All our breast cancer crushers got 10s. And then I was more practical with the others, but it was just super fun. And how lovely to be a part of a group of people that are gamers. They are game on to have a good time. And just, their participation made it more fun for everybody else. The fun shouldn't only be left to me, because if nobody else is participating in the fun, then is it really fun? But the leaping contest was great. And then more interestingly, as everybody came across the finish line, I would say a good 35% of the crowd leapt across the finish line. So super fun. We had dancing and loving. And, as the breast cancer crushers come across the finish line, I try to grab every single one and get their name, and then tell everybody that they're 19 years cancer free, or 3 years cancer free, or they're in the middle of treatment. And it's wonderful for them to get the acknowledgement, this celebration of the crowd, because the crowd goes wild. And then I think it's also really important for everybody to look around and see how real cancer is, that, oh, that's a real person who has had real chemotherapy, real radiation. Oh, and she's alive, or he's alive. That's good news too. I mean, I think I'm 5 years out, and when I hear somebody's 14 years out or 27 years out, it makes me feel a little more at ease that there's a good chance that I actually will make it to 27 years out, because I don't want to go anywhere. I like it here. Yay, life, right? I like being alive. So it was a blast. It was a blast. Of note, or highlights for me, one of my high school besties, Danielle Ertnowski Zimbicki, she came out from Punta Gorda and spent the weekend with me. She spent the night in the hotel. We had a little girls' weekend, and it was just great to have her at one of my races. We've been dying to do that. So thank you, Danielle, for coming. And then Jason Rue, who he's a Jacksonville Beach guy, who he joined my Hottie Body Fitzness Challenge group in February, and he's just the sweetest pie. Jason has lost over 215 pounds. And we say over because once he hit 400, he stopped keeping track. But he's 185, and he's tall, and he's strapping and fit. And he's as sweet as they come. So it was just a real treat to have him there and get get to meet, no, forget getting to meet Jason in person. I feel like Jason and I are already besties. But I feel I got to hug Jason. I probably hugged him too many times. He was probably like, a lady, back off with your hugs. And then he wanted a photo of me poking him in the chest, which I was happy to do. And then I said, Jason, are you strength training? Because he's watched what he put in his mouth. Ding, ding, ding. That's how you lose weight. And he walks 10,000 steps a day, which is wonderful too. I love that. But strength training is, oh, it's the fountain of youth. It's the thing that builds up your body, your confidence, your sex appeal, your everything gets better with strength, right? Your bone density. And Jason, are you strength training? He said no. So I probably poked a hole in his chest. I'm pretty sure he's got a bruise, and he's committed to strength training. And he showed me his weights that he was working out with the other day. He posted in the Hottie Body Fitzness Challenge group. If you'd like to join it, please do. It's free. Just get on Facebook and look Hottie Body Fitzness Challenge. And then I will harass you there as well, because I like to harass you wherever I can. But wonderful, wonderful. Oh, and then on my way out there was one of our vendors. It's called Shrunk 3D. That's right, Shrunk 3D. And they make action figures of you, of me. And so our race director, executive director, Amanda Napolitano, on the Donna pre-race show, which we did live stream last week, she mentioned this action figure booth going to be there. And so I said, I want to do it. And so I went over, and before I left, I got in and I had my microphone and my cowbell, and you stand in the room. It's in a little trailer, and they've got like 100 cameras lined up around you, and they're taking pictures of your ankles and your butt and your back and your face and your chin from all angles. And then 4 weeks later, I'm going to get a little Fitzy action figure, and I'm so excited. So apparently this is a franchise. They're located all over America. So I think shrunk3d.com. And if you want to get one here in Florida, this guy, Adam, who was just a delight, shrunk3d.com/Jacksonville. But yeah, I'm having an action figure coming at me very quickly, which I very much enjoy. So congratulations to the Donna Foundation, Amanda, Donna, everyone involved, Claire, the whole team. Bang up job. It was a stellar morning. And again, so much joy, that's what it's all about. It's about, raising the funds to do the good work, but then, letting people know how much we love them, and encouraging exercise, which prevents cancer and decreases the chance of someone having a recurrence, and of course increases the chances of remission. It's so beneficial in so many ways. So we accomplished a lot at the TPC Sawgrass course, and I'm very proud to be a part of that. So yeah, plan to join us in February. Donna Foundation 26.2 with the Donna. Just look us up, and I will have a discount code, I'm sure I'll share. And yeah, come join us. Jacksonville Beach in the first weekend of February. It's spectacular. Can't wait for that. Okay. So along with the race weekend, I had girls weekend. So Danielle came up from South Florida, and then we met my bestie, Christy, from Tallahassee, and her Tallahassee besties. And we went to Amelia Island. Oh, what a lovely place. And I've been to Amelia before, but just for the day. Folks, a couple things. A, you should be going on trips with your friends. Even if you're in the bestest marriage and you love your spouse so much, it's good for you. Get away. Go have a couple of days with just a pal who makes you laugh. And then if you are totally single, okay, get away with a pal. And even if you are poor, get away. Go to a campground. Find an inexpensive place to be where you can have quality time with your friends, because it's mental health, right? We need that. And I know when I get with some particular friends, I will laugh nonstop, and it is so good for my soul. And think about this. I'm so freaking happy already. One would think, well, certainly you couldn't make Fitz any happier. Certainly we can. And this was a recipe for endless joy. Every second that I was with these women made me happier and happier and happier. And we laughed so hard, we cried, and it just was awesome. So I hope you do that. Highlights for me, we stayed at the Williams house. It's called the Amelia Island Williams house. It's a beautiful bed and breakfast. Danielle and I shared the room. We cuddled up in the big king bed, which was a blast. We each had bathrobes, which if you've been paying attention, I love the bathrobes. I will do anything for a fuzzy bathrobe. So that was wonderful. And we had our own big bathtub, and I took a bathtub with the jets. In fact, that's a lie. I took 2 baths, and it was exquisite. So if you're in a bed and breakfast, do it. If you're at home, do it. Get in the water and sit there. And it's just water, guys. If you think baths are weird because you're a man, get over yourself, because it's just water. There's nothing weird about it. And it's so luxurious. It just felt great. Made me happy. Made me happy 2 times. If I would have stayed longer, I would have taken a 3rd, a 4th, a 20th bath. Awesome. I guess I'm going to have to get in my own bath at home. Ding, ding, ding. Yes, I will, because it was so great. But that was a lot of fun. And we went out to bars, and we had a couple cocktails, which was a blast. We went dancing. We danced to acoustic guy Steve. Hey Steve. It was like Steve Winford or something like that. But he played and we sang and we danced. And then there was a DJ. I have no idea what that guy's name was, but we all did the thing. I felt like I was in college. And also when I went into this bar, I think it's called the Palace Saloon, the craziest thing ever. This elderly man with his walker. I mean, most of the crowd was very, very young, but here he comes with his walker on wheels, scooching over to me, and he says, "Can I have a selfie?" It's my 98th birthday. His name is Barnacle Bill, 98 years young, and he pulled out his little camera. It was so cute. So I've never been more flattered to have anyone ask for a selfie with me. And we took a selfie, and then I took a couple with mine. And yeah, what a badass. I hope when I'm 98, I'm cruising the bars on my walker and meeting some hot guy like, "Hey, can I get a selfie?" So that was a blast. It just giggle fest and dancing, dancing, dancing. And I didn't want the night to end, but eventually we did. And the gals walked me back to my bed and breakfast because I was staying at a different one. Glamorous breakfast in the morning. Bed and breakfast can be really affordable too. I think ours was a little pricey, but at all these cute towns around America, they have bed and breakfast. They will serve you breakfast in the morning. I think the blankets are softer. I love my hotel. Yay Marriott, yay Hilton, yay Four Seasons. But bed and breakfast, just a little nth degree of cozy. In fact, so cozy that Danielle opted not to come out with us on Saturday night because she just wanted to stay in and enjoy the bed and breakfast. And I didn't blame her one iota. So that was great fun. Thanks for listening to me ramble on about my girls' weekend. But I hope it inspires you to go do a girls' weekend or a guys' weekend or a blended weekend. But getting away is necessary. And sometimes I actually feel like I shouldn't get away extra because I leave for work so much that, I mean, even my dogs, I don't want to leave my dogs, but I did it. The dogs were fine. They were well loved and I'm better for it, man. Okay. So I talked to you about the medieval lady torture. About 2 months ago, I told you that I had to have a uterine biopsy. Now, TMI, I know, but I'm giving it to you because we're close now, right? I'll tell you all the things. So uh, if the lining of your uterus, I guess your uterus is like a bag and it has a wall. Think if the lining of the bag gets thicker. Well, if it gets thicker, that can be a sign of cancer. I'm on a drug called tamoxifen that keeps my breast cancer away. And one of the side effects of tamoxifen can be it makes the wall of your uterus thicker. Doesn't mean I have cancer. It just may mean that for some reason the wall of my uterus is getting thicker. So that has been a thing. And I've had biopsies before. So I had one a couple of years ago. They said, "Yeah, you're fine." And then I had an ultrasound 2 months ago and they said, "Yeah, it shows it's thicker again. Let's do another biopsy." Well, freaking torture because they can't numb your cervix. So they can't numb your uterus. So you're awake. You got your feet up in the stirrups. Real cute, real cute. She goes in, she numbs the cervix. But in order to numb the freaking cervix, she has to stick needles in your cervix. Ouch. That's right. Think about that. Your innards, you're awake, and they're sticking needles in your cervix. Ouch. I imagine it's probably like if someone's sticking needles in your tongue. Okay, let's just visualize that. So she's there, and I told her, I said, "You can do this, but I'm going to scream and I'm going to curse." And she said, "It's okay. Scream and curse all you want." And boy, did I ever. I laid it on thick and vulgar and loud. It was bad. So anyways, she gets through the cervix with this needle poking prod thing and then goes in my uterus and clips a piece. Ouch, that hurts bad. She comes out and she goes, "Yeah, I don't think we got enough tissue. We have to do it again." So then she goes in, does it again. And again, the cursing and the screaming, it was graphic. So anyhow, that happens. And then I told you about this. I didn't like it, but I was happy to get it over with. So I get a call a few days later and it's my doctor on the phone. And I think, damn it, when the doctor calls, it's bad news, because if it were, negative results, then the system will call and say, "Fitz, you're good. See you next year." So I hear my doctor's voice and I go, "Uh-oh." And she goes, "Well, it's not what you think. I don't have, you don't have cancer. At least I don't think you do." She goes, "However, we did not get enough of a sample. So we have to do this again." What? She's like, "I know, I'm so sorry." And so we commiserate for a while. And I love my OB. Or gyno, I guess. She's not OB anymore. She's a gyno. I love her. I've been seeing her forever. She's as sweet as they come. And I believe with my screaming and cursing, that whole experience was equally stressful on her. But she says, "Yeah, we got to do it again." She offers the opportunity for me to go in the hospital, get the IV and all the stuff I'll be in La La Land. But I hate being a patient. There we go. I said, "Hey," twice today. This is unlike me. I'm so sorry. I really don't want to be a patient ever again. I don't want to be in a hospital. I don't want an IV. I've had 952 IVs. Just keep that stuff away from me. So I said no. And she goes, "Well, you could come back in the office and I could give you a Xanax." And I said, "Okay, let's do it that way." So yesterday was that appointment. And I tell you, I've agonized over this for 2 months because I've had this Xanax sitting in my cabinet, and I loathe being out of control. I don't want my mind to be somewhere else. I want to be ready for the emergency, right? I don't want to be altered. I don't like to be mentally altered at all, unless it's a little beer. Beer I can do, but I don't like taking pills that will make my mind alter. So finally, yesterday, about an hour before my appointment, I decided, okay, I'm going to do this. I took the Xanax, and my sweet daughter, Ginger, took me to the appointment. And I apparently was pretty wonky. It's pretty wonky. I had to be held up by the shoulders and directed into the exam room. It was just me and the doctor and her assistant. Nobody joined me, but I can tell that it definitely made the experience less horrible. It certainly hurt, but I think my bombshell, do you want to hear it? There was one big curse word. I said fuckaroo at some point. That was the worst, which was 1,000 times better than whatever I gave them or gave her last time. So the biopsy, she promised she got enough. And then Ginger was driving me home. I made her stop off at McAllister's to get me a little cup of mac and cheese, which is apparently the solution for a uterine biopsy. And while she was in there getting it, I passed out in the truck. And then she brought me home, and I slept for 4 hours. And so now I'm back up to speed, feeling great. And hopefully this week I will get a phone call that says, hey, your uterus is so darn good. Let's leave it alone. Let's not talk about your uterus again. But, one of the little side effects of breast cancer, right? So I assure you, and if you're diagnosed, know this, that you can go on to feel and look and live fabulously. And I feel like I'm 23. I don't feel like I had breast cancer. I'm dinged up, right? I've got some scars. I have no feeling in my tricep. I have to wear a stupid sleeve on an airplane, but I have all the energy and all the good feelings. And that's because of the effort, right? I eat so great and I exercise so often and I take baths, right? I work on my mental health, but there is a wonderful life post-cancer for those of us who are lucky enough to survive, right? But then sometimes there are these other things that we just have to deal with. And I don't like it very much, but that's okay. It's worth it, right? Life's worth it. And there's so many people going through so many worse things. So I can suck it up. In fact, I was thinking yesterday, as I was going in for my uterine biopsy, I was thinking about all of the hostages that were just freed yesterday. Yesterday was the day that all the hostages, the Israeli and the Palestinian hostages were freed. And I was thinking what those people went through and how much easier it would have been to have uterine biopsy than to go be kept in a dungeon underground for 2 years and starved and beaten and so forth. So perspective, if you just maintain perspective, you can make anything not so bad. So hooray for me and fingers crossed for my silly uterus. Okay. Communication tip of the week. So we're always talking about being friendly and confident and stuff. Sometimes being confident and taking care of yourself is not shaking the other person's hand. If there's somebody that puts their hands out for you and for any reason you don't want to shake it, you don't have to. That's my communication tip is you just wave, say nice to meet you, and you hold your hands together firmly. You hold your own hand. You are under no obligation to shake a hand of somebody you have no use for. I remember there was a very racist person who I knew was racist who tried to shake my hand a couple years ago. And I just said, hello. And I held my hands and I refused to shake. That was a personal decision of mine. But if that person was butthurt, okay, I don't care. But I do not feel obligated to shake the hand. Or maybe somebody has a cold, right? Maybe they just sneezed or coughed into their hand and they put it out. Don't feel obligated to do it. Say nice to meet you and put your hands in your pocket. It's okay to refuse contact. Yeah, that's important for you to know, and you're in charge of you, right? So just say, nah, no thanks. Okay. And then here's our song of the show. It's an oldie, but it's a goodie. And I was listening to it yesterday, and it made me very happy. Clint Black, Nothing But the Taillights. That's it. Clint Black, Nothing But Taillights. So good, so fun. And it's one of those songs that has a story built in, so you can hear how it progresses, and it's a good time, but it makes me happy. And you should listen to Clint Black, Nothing But Taillights, while you have your underwater headset on and you are swimming laps. I mean, you can work out in any other way you want to, but I think it's a good lap swimming song. All right, that's it. Again, the cover of the new book is almost out. With the cover comes the title and the opportunity to pre-order, which I hope you will. New book will come signed. Everyone who orders their new book at fitzness.com will get personalized signature. It will come with very fun stickers. It could also be used as bookmarkers, but hopefully you're going to put these little stickers on your back of your cell phone, on your laptop, on your dashboard, somewhere you see it all the time, so it can remind you to be the best version of yourself. And yeah, some other treats in there. So thank you for all your support. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing this episode with friends. I love you. Thank you for all the hugs at the Donna Foundation. And I'll see you next time. Get to work. Bye, team. Mwah!